Hi, Recap Bro here. Today I'm going to explain an action and comedy film, Kung Fu Hustle. Released in the year 2004. Let's get started. The story starts with a gang of mobsters aggressively attacking a police officer who arrested his wife. Before leaving, he intimidates everyone with arrogance. When they go out into the street, they realize that there is no one walking around. At that moment, a gigantic gang locks them in from all sides. One of them tries to call for reinforcements, but the gang leader tells him that all his men are with him now. After this, he ends their lives, including the woman he was originally going to let live. The city is being controlled by the Axe Gang, a powerful mob that has the respect of everyone. The people of a shanty town work hard to survive their precarious lives, and the owner of much of the rent in the place walks around greeting the merchants and neighbors of the town. At that moment, a young man who likes to show off his ass is taking a bath until he runs out of water. For that reason, he begins to complain to the owner of the rent, and she angrily goes down to scold all the workers, demanding the payment of the rent. Then, she finds her mischievous husband peeping in the women's bathroom and gives him a tremendous beating. A group of kids plays soccer until two members of the Axes arrive and ruin their game. They go to the barber shop of the young man with the bare butt and ask him for a haircut. The boy does an excellent job, but they extort him by saying that a mobster can't look that good, since he wouldn't scare anyone. But the young man is not only brave enough to walk around with his butt in the air, but he is also brave enough not to be afraid of the strange mobsters. The gangster leaves the place and begins to challenge all the townspeople to a fight, but finds to his surprise that every villager he wants to fight is far more intimidating than they look. The most intimidating woman in the place shows up and beats him up, so he throws a rocket to call for reinforcements. His plan doesn't go well, as the real Axes were just passing by and the rocket he threw exploded in the hat of one of them. The gangsters enter the place and begin to terrorize everyone, but when they were about to kill the young man with their bare asses, something happens and the gang member appears lying in the trash. Reinforcements arrive and threaten to set them all on fire, but the coolie shows up and confronts the gangsters. The tailor and the cook also join the battle and beat up the mobsters, running them out of town. The mobsters then capture Singh and his partner Bone, the posers posing as gang members. They spare his life only because of Singh's talent for picking locks. Upon escaping the clutches of the Axe Gang alive, the wannabe mobsters look for a way to become part of the gang, whereupon Singh tells them that when he was a kid he learned martial arts and tried to use them for good, but got beaten up when he tried to help a mute girl. At that point, they run to an ice cream cart to buy ice cream but run off without paying for it and taunt the girl as they escape on the bus. Back at the pigsty, the owner of the apartment scolds the city's kung fu masters, telling them that they should make money from their skills. That makes all the villagers angry with the local landlady, but she puts them in their place with a shout. The wannabe criminals try to kill the landlady to be accepted into the gang, but their lousy skills end up causing Singh to end up with 3 knives stuck in him and a mountain of snakes on top of him. The landlady sees the fakers and chases them at full speed, literally at full speed, but the duo manages to escape. Singh heals his wounds by growing his muscles, so he removes all the knives he had stuck in him. Meanwhile, the villagers ask Buddha if the kung fu heroes should leave town, and the answer they get is that they will meet a horrible fate. At the same time, the gangsters hire 2 ruthless assassins who carry out their murders with a strange instrument. While the tailor was closing the store, one of the assassins enters and tries to kill him, but the warrior manages to defend himself and they begin to have an epic fight that continues outside the store. The other assassin begins to launch attacks using the instrument, and the tailor manages to dodge them successfully. While this is going on, the leader of the gang watches everything from his car. When the assassins were about to defeat the warrior, the cook arrives and joins the fight. Although it seemed that he was going to defeat them, the assassins managed to defeat them and leave them on the verge of death. At that moment, the patrons save the lives of the eccentric warriors and demonstrate their incredible powers by defeating the assassins. The bosses get into the gangsters' car and threaten their leader, causing the gangsters to wet their pants and leave the scene. The villagers are surprised by the power of the strange couple and place them as heroes and ask them to train them. The useless duo seeks to become a viler, so they decide to go rob the girl in the ice cream cart. Singh threatens her with a knife and gets desperate because the girl doesn't answer him, but when they were about to steal his money, she lets him know that she is the girl he had helped when they were little. Singh reflects on this, but robs her anyway and then fires his partner, leaving him alone. At that moment, members of the Axe Gang kidnap him. Singh is taken to a nightclub where he is greeted cheerfully and told by the leader that he can join the mafia, but only if he fulfills a dangerous mission. The mobsters take Singh to a maximum security prison where he must rescue the best assassin in the world. The man is in the last cell of the prison and rescuing him is almost impossible. But Singh manages to infiltrate and uses his lock-picking skills to free the prisoner. The gang offers the assassin a lot of money if he manages to defeat the bosses, but the man replies that he is not interested in money, as he only wants to find a worthy opponent. They convince him that the opponents he must face are very strong, so the assassin accepts. The leader distrusts the man's abilities, so he asks Singh to put him to the test. The protagonist goes to beat him, but immediately after trying he runs away. That's why another one of the gang members tries, but every time the gangster hits him, the assassin laughs in a mocking tone. The gangster gets fed up and pulls out his gun to intimidate him, but the killer takes it away and surprises everyone by shooting himself in the head. His reflexes are quicker than the shot and he manages to catch the bullet between his fingers. The leader accepts the man and goes to take his bow, but the assassin rises surprisingly and with a kick breaks the walls of the casino, where he finds the patrons. He tells them that he is not working with the gang and that his only intention is to fight the legendary Kung Fu masters. The talented warriors have an incredible fight, but the assassin constantly outmatches them. After several attempts to hurt the man, and after receiving an incredible beating, the couple manages to use the bell that was in place to use the powerful lion's roar. This technique manages to destroy the whole place and defeat the killer. He acknowledges his defeat, so the couple decides to spare his life, but at that very moment he betrays them and tries to kill them. They manage to immobilize the assassin, but they must use all their strength to do so. The leader of the gang tries to assassinate them but does not dare. So he calls Singh and pressures him to do it. He pretends he is going to do it, but he hits his boss and then tries to finish the assassin. But the latter gets angry and breaks free from the marriage to brutally attack Singh. The bosses rescue Singh and the killer strips the gang leader in one blow. The Kung Fu masters take Singh back to the pigsty and scold him for making such a risky decision. He draws a paddle with his blood to give the masters a message, but they don't understand. At the same time, the mute girl tries to rebuild the pallet that Singh destroyed when he stole from her and Bone observes the place where his friend had healed his wounds. Back in the pigsty, the masters try to heal Singh's brutal wounds, but they realize that he can regenerate much faster than anyone else, so the boss realizes that the killer hit the specific spot to unleash the protagonist's full power. The mobsters arrive on the scene in search of Singh and the teachers but are surprised to see that Singh's wounds have completely healed. The gangsters immediately go on the attack to try to kill him. Singh manages to dodge each of their attacks and defeats the first group easily. The gang members seem to be endless and never tire of taking a beating from the protagonist. All this is observed by the assassin, who is surprised to see Singh's new power. After defeating about 10 groups of gang members, the protagonist goes to look for the assassin to fight him. He defeats another group of gang members before finally coming face to face with the killer. The first to attack is Singh, who kicks the assassin into the air and then connects a combo of kicks until he falls to the ground. The protagonist is far superior and seems to defeat him very easily, but the assassin adopts a new stance, the legendary Toad stance. Thanks to this attack, the assassin manages to even the fight, but Singh gets back on his feet and uses his ultimate attack, the Buddhist palm. He leaves the assassin on the verge of death, so he accepts his defeat and surrenders. In the same way he did with the masters, the assassin tries to kill the protagonist while he is distracted, but the latter proves to him that he is now too strong and finally recognizes that he cannot cope with him. Singh spares his life and agrees to take him as his disciple in the martial arts. At the end of it all, the ice cream girl was walking around town until she sees a candy store where Bone works. Singh's cute friend keeps seeing her, so the protagonist shows up and is surprised to see his great love. He comes out and they both see each other face to face, feeling like children again. The end. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and click the bell icon to get new movie recaps.